So for today's lesson, we're going to draw a toucan. And I think this is one of the most interesting birds because of the color of its beak. And so some of you have a start on the drawing, and we will continue on. I just gave you kind of a few lines to get you started. If you don't have a start, a piece of paper with a start on it, what you want to do is first draw a horizontal line. We're going to work on the beak, okay? And you're going to be working in pencil, okay? And then we're going to do the top part of the head. And then we're going to work on the bottom part of the top beak. And then we're going to do the lower part of the beak. The beaks are very, very sharp. Okay, and then we're going to start on the neck and down into the breast area. So let's work up here before we do the body. We have a fairly large eye, so we're going to do our inner circle first. And then an outer circle. And a little highlight in the eye. Their body is black, but around their eye, it is white. So I'm going to designate that as the white area. And then there are stripes of different colors on their beak, and you want to make these curved lines so it gives the beak a sense of roundness, which it is. Now this lower beak is just a plain orangish yellow. Okay, so now we've got the head. And now we'll work on the bottom. Now I cropped this bird off because I really wanted the head to be the focal point because of its magnificent beak. And so the body is going to go off the page, okay? And this shape kind of reminds me of a bowling pin, it's kind of small up at the top and then it comes out and then starts going back in. But again, we're not going to see the bottom of the body. That's difficult to say. Okay, so there's our simple toucan. All right, so they live in a jungle, so we're going to put some, big leaves in the background. And we're going to show part of a tree. But again, this is going to be cropped off. And we're going to put some big leaves. You can do your leaves how you want them and where you want them. Just kind of filling up some of the space around the bird. And then we're going to have a little hint. I might not be able to see that there. We're going to have a little hint of the tree there. Another nice big leaf. I'm going to have it just be, oops, I'm going to have it going off as well. So it's cropped down a bit. With the tree down here. And then I always like to have things coming in from a corner in a cropped situation. So we've got a leaf coming in from a corner. All right, so we've got our drawing done. Now you can pause the video and go over your lines. You could use a black Sharpie if you'd like, or a dark colored crayon, black. I've got like a dark olive kind of thing. So when you're done with tracing, then come back to the video and we'll start painting. So for painting, you need the usuals. I, of course, am using my tube watercolors because I like it. You may use a set of, don't know why I can't think of the word of it, anyway, dry watercolors, or if you have a set of tube watercolors, you can use that. It's been a while since I've used my black, obviously. There we go. And if you're using the tube watercolors, you don't need to use too much of it at a time. A little goes a long way. So I'm going to do the black body first. So you need a set of paintbrushes as well. And I'm going to get out a kind of a medium flat one. I've got my paper toweling and my water. And one of the things I like about one of the things I like about using crayon is that it does kind of push the paint away from the line. If you have trouble getting up in that little space with your bigger brush, you can pull out a much smaller brush to get in those tight spaces. And then you can turn your paper around to get to some of the other areas. And again, you might need a smaller brush. And I'm going over it because I really do kind of want the black to be nice and dark. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to get a smaller brush to do the eye. And we'll use kind of a lime green for the color circle. There we go. And then we'll go back to the black. And don't forget to leave your highlight white. Okay. Not really liking that line right there. Okay. So now we're going to start thinking about different colors for this. So I'm going to use, you can use whatever colors you want. I'm going to use warm colors like orange. I've got a red here. I think I'll use a nice yellow. I might even throw a blue in there just because I can. I don't know if the birds in real life have blue on their beaks, but I think it would look nice with the other colors that I've chosen. And I'm just going to use it, make a couple of the stripes orange. Now I'm going to pull out the yellow, and I'm going to paint this under beak yellow as well as the tip. Wouldn't want to get bitten by one of these. Looks pretty sharp. sure my crumbs from the crayon are not in my space. Okay, so I think I will use a red next. This is kind of a red-orange. Now my red slipped over to the next stripe, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm going to be using this blue and it's pretty dark, so it should cover it up okay. I'm going to make all of these little stripes my blue. Okay, so we're done with the bird. And so we'll go on with the green leaves. I think I'll use a little different color of green. And you can paint right over those lines. Okay, we're almost done with our leaves. And so then we're going to use burnt umber for the tree limb. Now you can also keep the green theme going because in the jungle there's lots of very thick vines and that kind of thing. So you could do that if you want. You're the decision maker. I think I'm going to go with the brown just because it gives it a little more contrast with the green. Yeah, I like that darker better. So I'll go over my first coat. And then don't forget we have this little bitty glimpse of the limb here. There we go. Okay, so if you would like to and you have the time, you could paint this background. You could make it, you know, a different color of green from the leaves to make it look like, you know, the bird is sitting in the jungle. You could make a, you know, a blue background. You can decide whatever you want. I would stay away from any of the warm colors for your background because you will lose the visual impact of the beak. All right. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed your painting time today, and we'll see you next week.